Hello, everybody, and welcome to News, Games, and More, IGN's week daily news-ish show where we talk about the news, the games, and more. I'm Max Scoville, and I'm joined by three of my best friends in the whole world who we do this show with. This is Casey DeFreitas, Matt Kim, and Seth Macy. I'm glad you guys are here. This is good.
Hello.
Hey.
Glad to be here.
So we got some cool stuff to talk about. We've had this wonderful, frequent, horrible lack of communication from Sony in terms of what the PlayStation 5 and does and can do. And then today we got this wonderful video where they just took one apart and showed us what is inside the PlayStation 5. And if you guessed a whole lot of air and some liquid metal, you would be correct. Uh, what did you guys make of this? Who wants to talk about the PlayStation 5 first? Raise your hand.
Oh,
I don't Seth,
oh,
you
oh,
go
oh.
first.
It has a liquid metal cooling system like the T1000.
Okay.
Can't form moving parts, so no guns, bombs. Uh, but yeah, it's very exciting, and it has the biggest fan. The fan that is in the PlayStation 5 is like if you took apart your vacuum cleaner. It's the same, pretty much the same fan, and it's kind of awesome. I have spoken negatively about the aesthetics of the PS5, but watching that guy take it apart was so like it was very relaxing.
So yeah,
Yeah.
like they have one thing where like you can pop off those big white plastic parts and then you can clean it by vacuuming it, which I think is a really like that's a really nice feature because I don't know most people like if you go get a can of air and you dust it, it just shoots the dust everywhere and like then you got to vacuum that up. But this is a
Yeah.
good kind of user friendly approach. Matt, you were gonna say something. Sorry.
Yeah, there's something weirdly like lizard brain satisfying about watching the teardown video. And I never like I know like oh teardowns are dumb and stupid, but I'll watch one and I'm like, yeah, okay, I get it, right? And then I go back to thinking that they're dumb and stupid until I watch another one. I look it looks good. It looks cockroach safe.
Awesome.
Cockroach
Does it
proof.
though?
I think so. You have to seal it up, right? Like there's little gaskets that you
No,
seal
no,
up
no,
with like
that whole
Yeah, the whole
backside is for
yeah.
is a
cooling.
I
vent.
love
Oh, never mind.
is that how bad this year is that we're concerned that a big problem with next gen will be roaches? I know we talked about this, but
It's a real problem.
Yeah, it is.
It's not a rare problem.
was that a show where that happened, or was that a meeting that I derailed by talking about the cockroach thing?
It might have been a meeting. I
I think
remember you talking about it.
okay, yeah. So we had a pitch meeting of like how should we cover next gen and what should we do? And I brought up this story my friend told me about when he was working at GameStop and somebody brought in an N64 to trade it in, and he like dropped it on the counter and just dozens of roaches came swarming out of it.
Ah,
And so then everyone started arguing about like which console would fit more roaches or other vermin inside of it, and like that's not a productive conversation, and I don't know why people invite me to meetings anymore.
isn't it
um
though?
But it's
but
Yeah.
anyway,
but it's
Casey, what do you make of this weird space taco
um
PlayStation?
it's big. It's funny that you need a screw in order to store it on vertically, and it's especially funny that Xbox responded by showing how to put the Xbox vertically and on its side, the Xbox Series X specifically, by which you just tip it over.
They earned it. They
Yeah.
100% earned it.
Mm.
Like we had that infamous video from the PlayStation 4, Xbox One, where it's like how to share games with your friends, and you just hand them the game, and like
Yeah.
Sony's like, oh, you like okay, so let's look at this. This is how
With them
you.
getting it back.
This is like I get that they engineered the hell out of this, but this ridiculous stand doesn't make any sense. It is like so much effort to make it. It's a stand.
I
I,
love
li-
it.
I like it. Yeah, I
Really?
like that they thought about the little screw compartment like that kind
Yeah,
of.
they're popping
I'm
in there.
Yeah, it
That's
has a screw compartment that is very thoughtful. And I honestly, I don't know. My gut reaction is like really like I need to be able to like screw and unscrew things in order to change the whether my PlayStation sits vertically or horizontally. But honestly, once you put it in a spot, how often are you going to change it,
No,
right?
hold on. The screw compartment is great, but they invented it. They can decide whether or not it needs screws. If you don't want to have a compartment to put screws away, just make it so that it clips in or has like you can
Well,
have little plastic twisties that go in there and lock into place. Like it's there, like it's just like it's and maybe if you don't need a stand at all, don't make it shaped like whatever that shape is.
I like it because it's so ridiculous. It's kind of like a Cinco product. Like it comes with a special storage place for the screw. Like I love that it's so unnecessary and over engineered. And I just really think it's neat and wonderful.
Watch
a.
out for pre-owned PS5s in the future because you'll probably get
Ooh.
some with us where the what do you call it? The screw threading is stripped and you will not be able to
Mm.
put it on vertically.
It's so tall. I can't imagine. I think I'm gonna keep it horizontal when I get mine, like permanently. It's so tall. I have no. It won't fit in any of my compartments for my media center. Like,
Which is why you
uh,
put it on top vertically, so it takes up less counter space.
I don't
Right.
know.
And then your
Or
I'm
cat can knock it over, and then you can be sad.
if it's
genuinely stressed about this, about the size of this boy.
if
It's
it's
Yeah.
the
so
same
big.
diameter and threading as I think it is, you can put it on a tripod right next to your entertainment center. So
Are you?
You only need
Oh,
50
that is.
pounds of
I
sandbags
think
to
it.
steady.
Look, I
That
know
would.
I know this is a bit, but like I feel like it might be too heavy. But I'm sorry. It's
we talked about this yes and
no,
improv thing before.
I know.
I don't know. I have feelings about this. Like, I mean, I'm getting one. I'm excited about it because standards have been lowered this year, but like it's also like it's so stupid. Like it's such a dumb
I've done
machine.
a
It's
180 on the design of the PS5
oh,
after seeing like this thing just get taken apart, and it's so ridiculous, and there's so many pieces to it, and I love it. It's got like the liquid metal. As soon as he said liquid metal, I was like, and then they showed the liquid metal. It came up from a checkerboard floor, and it showed.
You're
so wait,
so
hold up.
into
You
this liquid metal.
Yeah.
Seth, aside from Terminator 2 references,
Mhm.
which you're very good at, you also do know stuff about like PC hardware and tech. And we went to CES together and you helped like mansplain what like OLED is and QLED and like GPUs. But like did you actually kind of glean anything from this aside from the gleam of the liquid metal, which is so
Don't drink
cool?
it.
Like
You
what was your
don't.
takeaway from this in terms of like what the guts of this thing are?
I mean, it's just the thing that told me that the most was when he said it's a 350-watt power supply. I was like, wow, that's a big ass power supply because there's a lot of power in that needs to go into this thing. I mean, consoles are just PCs that somebody figured out a way that you can't build it yourself. Like they make them mass produced and cheaper, and so like there's this that's all they are now. It's a gaming PC with proprietary hardware that runs the things that they want it to run, but it's all the same thing. It's a computer. It's a
Mm.
computer. So yeah, I was into this. I
You were
want them to.
impressed.
I was impressed. I want them
Yeah.
to take apart everything now.
Mm-hmm.
Why were consoles so small for so long? I guess they've just finally reached their sort of the
I mean,
reality that they
because
have to be big. Yeah.
I don't know. Look
for
at
the
the Switch.
most of what's going on
That's
here
a
in the
tower.
size is for the cooling, because like that is where we're at now. Computers are getting so much more powerful, and there's that comes with a trade-off of heat. Like all that power being consumed puts off enormous amounts of heat. So this has to be this big because all of that cooling has to go in there to keep all your nice graphics running at their graphicalness.
Hmm.
Right? Those are the
No,
most
Like that.
important parts.
our PS4 Pros basically acted as a space heater, so I'm excited to maybe it not be a space heater.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it looks like it'll be fine. Also, Crystal Padre, our friend Chris in the chat says, "I wonder if they will do LED vent replacements." Thoughts, anyone?
Ooh.
Like so it
Maybe.
changes
I
color when
mean,
you do stuff or it just looks cooler.
I'm into it.
That'd be cool.
That'd be
I
nice.
think everybody immediately was like, "Oh, face plates, right?" Because you can just
Yeah.
easily remove the white wall things.
Well, we have
Yeah.
Uh,
gosh, where did
You
it
can
go?
just take it
like,
off and just spray paint it,
yeah,
just get stupid
yeah.
with it.
Make your own.
Phantom Ravens that just take off the side panels and it'll fit.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do that? Can you just
I was just thinking like in 5 years you're gonna see in college dorms like the PlayStation 5 with no sides on it because somebody broke
Yeah.
them or like lost
Yeah.
them, and it's just gonna be like spiders and cockroaches in there. I
Stop.
feel
No, I don't.
thousands of
I
cockroaches.
that's
No.
definitely a big threat as cockroaches are coming to wreck next gen and they're also going to outlive us. But the important thing is if these faceplates are removable, or not faceplates, whatever, the wings, whatever you want to call them, if they're
Yeah.
removable, do you think we're going to get third party variations that like maybe
Oh heck yeah.
some crazy person out there over at Mad Cats is going to, which I think is
Yeah.
bankrupt, but somebody's going to go and make like, what if they were like, we're making a flat one, like we're making one that
Yeah.
just, it comes down on one side and it just goes flat across the bottom, so you don't need to mess with the stand, or like it just makes it
Oh,
like
absolutely.
squared off at the top. Like that would be novel.
third-party wings?
Yeah. I mean, you can already get third-party like Nintendo Switch Joy-Con shells.
That's
And
Like,
you can get third-party shells for the entire thing.
yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
I think that
yeah.
voids the warranty though. I don't think you're meant to.
Sony.
But
What Sony doesn't know
But
won't
this
hurt
would,
them.
That's
yeah,
right.
this just snaps on and off.
Yeah.
Do you all remember that The PS4 totally had faceplates.
Yeah, I do. They were hard to find, and
I
semi
think
didn't
that just
remember that.
right. It was so like the base PS4. It the
Oh, I
part
still
where
have mine. It doesn't work.
yeah. So grab parts of it and start pulling in different directions because you'll pull
yeah,
off the faceplate. Get it
it's
down
like
here.
the glossy part, the glossy
Live
part of the
testing.
original one.
Okay,
Why
this
is
is
it
gonna
in
blow your
bubble
mind.
wrap?
I
So
sent it away to Amazon, and they sent it back broken and said, "Oh, it doesn't work."
okay, so that's cool. So this we won't have to worry about you messing it up. So you know how there's that top shiny part?
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
So like pull that up. Like slide it up. Right? And they sold them. They made official ones that had like I think it was like Last of Us remastered or you can go and search like PS4,
I completely forgot that that was a thing.
right?
yeah,
Everyone
yeah,
did. You can get wow, a blue one. These are like they're totally just
yeah.
they sold
Or you
official
can just
ones. That's
spray
the whole
paint
Uh,
your
thing.
own. Put it back.
I
Yeah.
love I love faceplates. That's the reason why when they you guys remember the new Nintendo 3DS?
Yeah.
Yes.
The new one? The
Yes.
small one was the only of the two models that had removable faceplates, and I opted for that one specifically because of the faceplates, even though
Mhm.
yeah, turns out it was a mistake because faceplates were hard to find in America, and all the good ones are like $80 if you want to import them from Japan.
Yeah.
I bought
Uh,
my wife has one of those and I bought her like really crappy faceplates for something
mhm.
we didn't like and then I refinished them with car paint and
Oh,
like buffed them and put clear coat on there and it looks like she has like like an all white new 3DS and it looks like surprisingly good
That's
oh,
cool.
yeah.
despite me being a simpleton. Uh anyway, let's speaking of PlayStation stuff. Just because I know that if we do like two PlayStation stories in a row, people the Xbox kids in the chat get all riled up and we just want to rustle. I'm messing. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Somebody's going to clip that out and they're going to put it on Twitter and then try to swat me or whatever.
I think
Um
we all have Xboxes pre-ordered as well on
True.
this panel, so
I'm
don't
thrilled
worry
at the
about
fact that you can turn an Xbox on its side without having to unscrew anything. I think that's a
A,
groundbreaking
Ser-
feature and yeah.
a Series
Um
X will fit in my entertainment center.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a plus.
yeah, so while we're on the subject of PlayStation stuff, they also announced that the trophies are getting a massive overhaul. And basically they're doing this this feels like adjusting a currency, like they're basically switching it so that the entire system has different like variables. Everyone still gets to keep their trophies. Nobody has to like level down or anything, or it doesn't say you're bad at
Yeah.
games suddenly, but now they basically have like different variables to establish what your levels are. Previously, the trophy, like the for every trophy you get, it assigns a certain number of points for it, and then it gives you a level for your PSN handle from 1 to 100, and now that goes from 1 to 999. So this sort of feels like when I said this earlier, when you put like $20 in a coin changer and you have like a lot of quarters and it's the same amount of money, but you just feel like you have more of it. You're like, ah. Um, but they also said, so yeah, if your current trophy level is 12, it will now jump to somewhere in the low 200s. And the exact level will depend on the number and grades of trophies you've acquired. And yeah, this is just like I don't know, this is
Mass
weird, but basically,
inflation.
yeah, this is.
It gives you a bigger number. It makes you feel better.
Do any of
Inflation.
you? Do any of you care about trophy stuff? Like, do you chase after that? Are you into it at all?
I mean,
This is the
I make an effort to try and chase them for games that I care about, but not something that I set out to do whenever I start a new game.
yeah. I know some people are
Yeah.
really into it, and I
Yeah.
think it's cool. It's just like it usually it doesn't really grab me. Like I've
Mm.
never gone out of my way to be like I want to really 100% this or whatever. Um, but yeah, this
Yeah.
is I don't know. It's neat.
Yeah.
I
Nice.
tried to get platinum for Monster Hunter World and I gave up when I had 600 hours in that game and still hadn't gotten the crown trophy. So
Ooh.
it's just random. It's just like there's a chance for the monsters to be bigger or smaller, and I never found all of the big boys, so I don't have that trophy.
You know what's
I
uh
stopped trying.
cruel was I tried getting platinum for Nier Automata. But I don't know if any of you have finished Nier Automata, like the true ending for that game. Uh, it's been like 2 years, so it's fine. But basically, the end of the game requires you to delete your save file, right? And it's like this big, great moment because like you have to sacrifice your save file to help out other players around the world, and it's beautiful. The problem is it makes getting the platinum on that game extra hard because you basically have to start again if you want the platinum. Uh, and so that was a
Mm,
painful sacrifice.
yeah. Uh,
Yeah, depending how you go about it, I think you have to beat Bloodborne 3 times to get the platinum, unless you basically do some save scumming.
so like,
Um,
yeah, how many like 200 hours?
yeah, it's up there. I mean, it's some, and then some games, what is it like? There was that game like I Am Mayonnaise or something, where it was just like a jar of mayonnaise that you kept pressing X on, and then it would just give you a platinum eventually.
Yeah.
I think they nerfed that one.
My favorite
Oh.
are the indie games, where you just beat and then get the platinum just for beating them. Like, yeah.
Oh
Right.
yeah, I have one of those. I know what you're talking about.
There's a few of those. I think it's because like indie devs probably just aren't thinking that hard about that, and then they're just
Mhm.
like, yeah, if you want to port this to consoles, you got to figure this out. And they're like, oh crap, we forgot about trophy support.
Quick. Hey,
Um,
real quick, I just want to point out some comments from chat about our
Yeah, go for it,
cockroach
totally.
discussion. Sandoval 85 says cockroaches have to do with how clean your home is. If you have cockroaches in your console, clean your damn house buds. I'm not talking about mine. I was talking about experience from working at GameStop and having people bring in their consoles to sell and then being absolutely mortifying.
Listen, my house is pristine, but I happen to have a lot of pet cockroaches in various terrariums. But I also have other exotic pets, and sometimes they leap up on the various furniture, which is all very precariously perched, and knock the cockroaches to the ground. I can't control where they lay their precious eggs.
It also doesn't help that sometimes you live in a city that's just a cockroach home, like LA, which I love LA.
Oh yeah, or anywhere in
Massive,
Florida.
massive cockroach problem. You just see them on sidewalks. It's nuts.
Gross.
Yeah. Uh,
Man.
All right.
Oh yeah, no. Let's not
Bugs.
take this into
Bug
it's like-
stacks?
Oh, Twitch chat wants to say Twitch chat is never read, and I would like to point out Lamelov that we do read Twitch chat. I'm in
Also,
charge.
now I feel bad. Somebody called us. They said we were, what did they say? PSN, Sony fanboys or whatever. It's what? Fine, whatever. Let's talk about Xbox real quick. This is not a major story, but xCloud is a cool thing that Xbox is doing, where it's letting you stream Xbox games on all sorts of different devices. I've seen all sorts of influencers who got free phones in the mail, and they get to clip the things on the side, and then they get to play Xbox games streaming, which seems kind of cool. I don't know if it's quite there yet, but somebody on Twitter asked Phil Spencer about the possibility of xCloud on console, and he basically said, yes, eventually it's on the long list of things we want to do at some point, but we're getting around to it. He said verbatim, it's in the long list of cool things the xCloud team is working on, just a bit further down the list, but we want console and PC players to be able to browse as easily as mobile players. It's a good Game Pass feature.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Have y'all tried it?
Oh no, it's only on Android, so I haven't.
Yeah.
I have an iPhone. It's a bummer.
Yeah, same.
It's
yeah.
neat. I liked it so much that I almost considered putting down $100 for the Razer Kishi controller that attaches to both sides. But I don't know, $100 might have been a bridge too far. Instead, I ordered that little clip-on thing that goes on top of your Xbox
From
controller.
8-Bit Do.
Yeah. Or I mean, I think it was a generic one. It's like
Oh.
Amazon ripped it off or something, and I got for $8.
Oh no.
But yeah, I really liked xCloud. It's weird, because I was trying out a bunch of games, not for work or anything, but just because out of curiosity. Forza Horizon did not work for me even a little bit. It kept crashing. But Nier Automata and Halo Master Chief Collection worked perfectly fine.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was great. I was playing ODST in my bed. It was awesome.
That's a great game.
That's so cool. I mean, I remember a point where like Netflix was this thing where you would get DVDs in the mail in little paper envelopes, and that was like pretty cool. But at the same time, they were like, they have a website where you can also watch movies, and I was like, that's not gonna work. That's crazy talk. It's nonsense. And then 3 months later, I was like, oh, all right, would you look at that? I'm watching Netflix on my computer. Get the hell out of here. And now that's like completely standard, and it's on everything except Switch somehow. And like, I don't know. I feel like streaming gaming is going to have a similar trajectory where it's going to take a minute before it's really up to speed. And obviously there's going to be some instances where it's not quite there yet, but like, I'm stoked about what Sony's doing, what PlayStation 5 is bringing to the table with the very cool hard drive. And it's going to have, fun graphics and all that. But like pairing Game Pass with streaming, like if we're looking at a future where you can be like, you don't have to buy a $400 box to play a AAA video game. Like we're already there. The fact that like, I don't know, you get like Fortnite on your phone. That's insane. That's bonkers.
I've had zero opportunity to test out xCloud on the commute because I don't leave the house,
Right.
right? So who knows how it works to use over the sky data or whatever, the 5G, But my house Wi-Fi it works perfectly fine.
That's rad. Yeah, no, we did an interview at Gamescom long ago, a year ago, with one of the people from Stadia, and it was like me and like a handful of other IGN people, and we had to do like 2 interviews back to back, and and it was this weird thing where like one of them was getting streamed on IGN, one of them was getting streamed on like the Gamescom official thing, and we wanted to make sure that like the more sort of hard hitting, the more like to the point, like, hey, we're actually want to ask you some serious questions about Stadia, goes up on IGN, because otherwise people are gonna be like, you're like, you guys are pushovers, Stadia sucks, we hate it. And so we asked like a bunch of legit questions where we're like, hey, is there a situation where you can do streaming games on an airplane? And the guy was like, no, not yet. Like, it's not, you're not going to be able to use Stadia on Wi-Fi. We're not, that maybe someday, but like, at this point, nobody's really getting on airplanes. But of course, as luck would have it, that was the one that went up on some channel that nobody saw. And then the one where we're like, wow, the controller sure is neat, went up on IGN. Everyone's like, why didn't you ask about why it doesn't work? Like, sorry. Yeah, I don't know. It's things take time. Like, there was a point in time where we didn't have, the internet on games consoles, or you had to buy a modem separately. So
Yeah.
anyway, shifting gears, this is fun. This is a nice thing. Universal Studios Japan is opening Super Nintendo World sometime next year.
Yes.
Spring 2021. The actual dates are sort of up in the air still, so to speak. But we got some cool pictures of it. This is, of course, Universal Studios Japan is actually, I think it's the only legit theme park I've been to. I went there on my honeymoon. I don't have anything to compare it to except like Great America.
What?
And like,
You've never been to Six Flags Magic Mountain?
You've never been in Universal Studios Florida?
No. So I don't have I don't have a frame of reference, but I thought it was really cool. I went there during Halloween. It was like right around this time of year. And the thing in Japan is they do, I guess they sort of do like costume stuff outside, but the big thing is to go to theme parks in costume. And so there were like and it's like a big couples thing. Like it's like, so there were like all these girls who were like dressed up like to the nines as like sexy minions. And then these dudes were like kind of like dragged along with them. They're like, oh, I have to dress up like a minion. But yeah, it was a fun theme park because it's a cool theme park in Japan. And the fact that doing a Nintendo corner of it is very cool and very exciting and just wonderful. And maybe someday we'll all get to travel again. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
In the meantime, they're going to be opening the Mario Cafe and Store, which will be opening in its Hollywood Boulevard area, offering Nintendo merchandise and themed food and drinks, such as,
Magic
little
mushroom.
hats.
No, I'm
Yeah,
kidding.
magic mushroom cups. I don't know. This is nice. What do you guys reads on this? Is this the kind of thing that makes your inner child wake up and just get excited?
Yeah.
Seth? Yeah.
Obviously. I mean, look at my life
Yeah.
that I lead. Like, yeah, just give me all the Mario stuff. I love Super Mario. It's the
Yeah.
first time I played a game and I was like, oh, holy cow. Like, this is the thing that I like, but it's even better. So yeah.
I like this.
Yeah. Wait, you have to go one way and then there's an end to it. It's not like the endless fun of Missile Command.
Hey, a big turtle stole your wife? Wild. Casey, you do Nintendo voice chat every week. What have you guys been tracking Nintendo
Yes,
World Land,
we
whatever?
We have, and I'm excited for this. I'm glad it's opening. Will Americans be able to go to Japan in 2021? We'll see. We'll see at that point. But yeah, no, I'm excited for this. I mean, I know that we are also going to get one here in the States, and I have to admit I'm a little bit more excited about that because the possibility of me going to that one is significantly higher. But no, this is cool. And Universal Studios in Japan has done a lot of video game and anime tie-ins that have been temporary. Like they did a whole Monster Hunter tie-in before. So it's really cool that they're doing a permanent video game tie-in with Nintendo World. And that's awesome because now the next time I'm in Japan, hopefully that'll happen sometime in the near future. Who knows? Now I'm gonna
They
go
have
use
a whole Evangelion ride, which is
wild, right?
it's kind of a hoot. Yeah.
Crazy.
It crashed on me though, is you have to wear a VR headset and you're like flying around in like this hovercraft around the Evo Arts fighting an angel, and mine crashed with the VR headset just staring right up at between the Ava 1's legs. So it was just like staring at this weird robot crotch while this like chair was wiggling around. Anyway, enough derailing the stories. Let's talk more about Universal Studios and things that aren't coming in 2021. Is Universal Studios' upcoming dinosaur film Jurassic World Dominion, which got pushed to 2022. We learned that I think yesterday, and this might have something to do with it. They had to halt filming after multiple crew members tested positive for coronavirus, which sucks.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Man.
No, they made a big fuss about how sort of careful they've been about going back to work with this production, and how everyone's wearing masks on set and being as careful as possible. But life finds a way, as it were. Yeah. No, apparently everyone's like no one's like super. It's not like a super bad outbreak. They caught it and they're keeping track of it and they're testing everybody, but still they want to be like extra careful, extra safe. And I really want to see this dinosaur film.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I
Yeah. Matt, Kim, tell me what are your feelings about the dinosaurs?
I feel good about dinosaurs, and I'd like to see them again. But more importantly, I wrote the story up yesterday about the delay, not today's update about how someone tested positive for COVID, but they had all these precautions, right? Like they were cleaning and testing regularly, and they were isolating cast members, and that one stood out to me because that's not true. That can't be true because I see Jeff Goldblum and Sam Neill post like TikToks all the time together. And I'm like, how are they isolating from one another? They're hanging out and posting fun little videos for everyone.
Maybe they
So
were
like you know, yeah, follow the rules, I guess.
I think it'd be weird if they just like there was that whole rumor when they did Charlie's Angels about how Lucy Liu and Bill Murray hated each other and couldn't be on set at the same time, and so all the scenes that they're in together, they just shot them separately. So they're not actually like acting together. They just were like, so just like cutting back and forth, and no one's in the same shot. Oh well. In the meantime, there's a Netflix children's show about Jurassic Park called Camp Cretaceous, where children get chased by dinosaurs.
I keep
They'll be
getting that
they'll be fine,
recommended to
though.
me on my Netflix. Is it Netflix or Amazon Prime? I don't know.
I think
look
it's,
at
it's
so many of
Netflix,
them.
but I don't know. Anyway, I'm just fascinated by the story. The New Mutants, the X-Men spinoff about youngsters, which was a horror angled sort of teen approach to that story. It was supposed to come out in theaters in April of 2018, and it eventually came out at the very tail end of August this very last year. But if you haven't been to the movies recently, that's probably for the best. And also, it's coming to Blu-ray in November.
All right.
Yeah, so it's coming digital
That's fast.
HD, and that'll be on November 17th, just in time for Thanksgiving. I want to point this out.
Gather the family. We're watching New Mutants.
I feel so bad for this movie. Like I haven't really heard anything about it that makes me like want to rush out and go see it. I'm sort of a fair weather New Mutants fan, but I love X-Men stuff. I've been very bittersweet about the movies themselves, but the time between when this was supposed to come out and when it actually came out in theaters was 867 days, which is over 2 years. It's a good chunk of time. The time between its theatrical release and its release on home video, 81 days. So that means that, and it might be out in theaters somewhere possibly, but that means basically that it spent 10 times it spent more time
Not
10 more
being in
times
theaters.
delayed, math, whatever, than it did actually.
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's so sad. And also, like the day that they announced it was coming out in theaters, like literally the exact moment was during Comic-Con, during the New Mutants panel, and they were like, "Great news! It's finally coming out in theaters on August 28th." And like at that exact moment, Disney sent out a press release being like, "We've delayed all of our movies indefinitely," which is just like these poor New Mutants. So yeah, maybe we can watch it at some point.
It's weird that they didn't announce the Disney Plus date, considering all the X-Men movies are on that service now.
Yeah.
So the reason, I think there's like a whole pre-existing licensing, because this movie predates the Fox Disney buyout, and they had like, it would have made sense to just drop that on Disney Plus and be like, hey, it's out there, or just put it up for VOD. But I think there was some weird ruling with like home video licensing, or something that was signed off on 3 years ago. Whatever.
Right. Some arcane pact with the devil.
Indeed. Yeah.
It was at the theater, our local theater, because we are in stage 3 reopening here in Maine, because we're clean and healthy. And I mean, we were really excited because we haven't seen a movie forever. And I asked the kids, I was like, "You guys want to go see New Mutants?" They said, "No, no." So I haven't seen New Mutants yet.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right. So finally, one last story. Genshin Impact has launched. A lot of people are talking about it. Are any of you guys playing Genshin Impact?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
It's all right. It's
It's
all
all
right.
right. Yeah. It's. I mean, I hear it's a sort of like free to play anime Breath of the Wild kind of.
Yeah.
It wouldn't. It's definitely extremely pretty. Honestly, I was very impressed with how pretty this game is for a free to play game, and it plays well, and there's a lot of voice acting. It's just a lot of things with free to play games that I don't expect, and there's also already a lot of content, like about 30 hours of it. So, this news will help people who have already finished it, Max.
Yeah, the news is that they have plans for new. They'd be really weird if they dropped like a massive, gorgeous free to play game like this and they just didn't support it. That's not the case, and they have plans for new characters and new locations. Currently, no new plans for new mechanics, but the game already launched with 20 characters and 2 major city locations, and the developer makes clear that more characters and character-specific missions in a third city are currently in development, and there will also be new side quests. But they currently have no plans for Xbox, which could always change, but as of right now, that's not really a thing they're focusing on. However, they are looking at next gen. So, if you want to play this big, beautiful free game on a new, big, beautiful, not free console, then that's a possibility. Though it's a sort of big question marks for Xbox, and that's the story. Do you have
Yeah,
any strong feelings?
Well, I like that you accidentally just wrote a new lyric to "We Didn't Start the Fire."
Oh, did I? Oh
Yeah,
man.
free to play anime. What else do I have to say?
Oh man. Seth, I want to toss to you real quick.
Yes.
Eddie Van Halen passed away,
Oh
which
my God.
sucks. And you sent me something. I don't know if we actually have this to show it on the stream, but you sent me something amazing over Slack, but right before we recorded.
Yeah,
You want
in
to tell us about this?
1987, Edward Van Halen, who was at the time the greatest, well, he was among the greatest living rock guitarists, certainly of all time now, was one of the greats, rest in peace. In 1987, he filed a patent for a device to hold a guitar for when he's doing like the eruption solo, and he's doing a lot of, I don't know what it's called, but a lot of finger strumming on the fretboard, like
Shredding.
a lot of that, a lot of shredding, yeah. And there's an accompanying image with the patent of like a generic Eddie Van Halen shredding on guitar with his mouth open, like and all the patent stuff, like the filing number and all the numbers of all the pieces. And it gives me so much power. I've actually watched that eruption solo like 4 times since yesterday.
That's
on
so funny.
YouTube.
I love those patent illustrations because sometimes it's very clearly like this is just a technical drawing. Like we see them whenever Nintendo is like, yeah,
Right.
maybe we'll F with VR. Like here's an idea of what it might look like. Or
Yeah, they use the circle tool and a square tool in Microsoft Paint, and they're like, "That's a person on the screen."
exactly, yeah, like or it'll be like IKEA instructions where it's just like a little weird outline of a person or like the bathroom door sign people. But like this is just a full illustration of like a dude shredding on guitar with his mouth open and he's got his hair and everything.
Oh
It's
yeah.
it's great. It's a
Did he
good
get
thing.
that patent? Did he get it?
The patent has expired, so you are more than welcome to invent your own.
Put it on
not have to
Kickstarter.
worry.
There it is. Anyway, on that very weird note, everyone go look up Eddie Van Halen's guitar strumming shred platform patent. We are wrapping things up for today. We will have another episode of this tomorrow. Thank you all for hanging out and shooting the breeze and talking about the PlayStation and Xbox and cockroaches and Nintendo dinosaurs. And
News,
huge
games, and
thanks to
more.
Marian for technical directing behind the scenes there. This is News, Games, and More. Good night, everybody. We will see you tomorrow.